This is Reality Dispatch by Jim Minns. Head down, Private Hood. Sergeant Dashan bellowed above the sounds of the XM7s firing their rounds. Renee kept her face as low to the earth as her neck could accommodate. The problem this caused was a delay in the crawl to the tunnel's exit. There was no roof, only the sidewalls, claustrophobic enough to keep the cadets focused on moving forward. The only way Renee's slide to safety could be completed without her brain detaching with force was if her face was buried in the mud and scraped across. This would leave open the opportunity for whatever disease-ridden infections or parasitic worms living in the mud patch to transfer to a new home within her eye socket. Still, this was a desirable prospect given the circumstances. It was basic training, week 3 of 11, fatigue had set in on day 2, and she still had 8 weeks remaining. This was not the plan. This was never her plan. However, it was a pathway to stability that her vocation necessitated. Pursuing the trumpet was her destiny, something she could not ignore. 19 years earlier, she had been introduced to the instrument in middle school. For most of her friends, the presentation of these instruments was a means to skip math or other melatonin-inducing subjects. For Renee, the sounds emitting from the hollow sent her imagination into a realm she didn't or wouldn't ever understand. As her skills progressed and her need to reach the notes furthered, she likened her experiences to her mind being an antenna, receptive to unknown forces of creativity where anything was possible, and euphoria and heaven was not a myth but a real, tangible place that existed to those willing to tune themselves into its frequency. She didn't understand this realm, but her desire for this place increased every day, month, and year. She had auditioned for orchestras to no avail. Jazz bands were open to her membership, but the sustainability in terms of pay and conditions were dim. She discovered this on her 21st birthday, the day she attempted to get a car loan from a bank that was skeptical of her long-term prospects on a salary drawn from her unique yet unparalleled skills on the brass. This was a wake-up call. She knew nothing else but music and no desire to be earning a living anywhere else, performing any other duty than through the creation of sound. She believed she was tapping into the unknown realm of which her subconscious was a receiver. She was not stupid. She didn't plan to live destitute. Thankfully, the Army offered $70,000 per year plus healthcare and dental. When she enrolled, she went through what she thought was a grueling interview process. Hours of questions, auditions, and showcasing her skills. She believed naively that the allowance of her membership was the hard part. Basic training was a small price to pay. She regretted ever having such a flippant attitude as the .27 7mm gauged ammunition flew inches from her receptor. She momentarily thought her helmet had been kissed, pecked on the temple. How would she be able to tap into that dark window of the other realm? The place that speaks to her through music, that tells her which notes to play, that has always managed to understand her and her thoughts, desires, beliefs, emotions. That mystical heaven that could only be reached when she put her lips to the mouthpiece. Legs moving, Private. Sergeant Dashan demanded, "Keep that head down and move." The sludge and gravel worked their way through Renee's facial features, pore by pore, as she moved her body forward with her feet. She was retracting the toes forward, digging into the sludgy ground, and pushing them down. Her hands by her side. She slid inch by inch. It was not fast enough for her colleagues as she heard the screams and yells become more crowded. But her fear of the bullets outweighed her fear of ridicule. This was how she would get to the other side. This was how she would ensure she could play her beloved once more. For more fact-based fiction, head to jimminns.substack.com.